And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the 2025 film Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan, Miles Canton, and Saul Williams. The movie's sitting at a 2-hour, 17-minute runtime with a 97% Rotten Tomatoes score. And this is one of these movies, again, where I disagree with that score. Let's talk about it. The movie takes place in the 1920s, where two gangster brothers, Michael B. Jordan and Miles Canton, come back down to Mississippi from Chicago and try revitalizing their lives and try making their lives whole again through music and religion. So this movie really started out good for me, then it kind of declined as the movie went on. It started out with very good character development, plot development. It spoke about segregation and racism in that time, and I feel it depicted that very accurately. The second half of the movie is where, everything kind of unraveled for me. The first half, everything was setting itself up. Everything looked historical, everything looked accurate. Then it went from like an old looking movie setting to a modern setting. They kind of intertwined a lot of new music with old set design, and it was just like a hybrid for me, and that's kind of where the whole plot fell apart for me. A lot of people speculate that the film is loosely based on the real blues musician Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson allegedly sold his soul to the devil to gain musical powers in his guitar, and to be honest with you, the plot kind of coincides with that story in real life, so a lot of people were wondering if this is based on Robert Johnson. However, the director didn't admit to that. So going forward in this review, here's going to be some spoilers. However, it kind of needs to get the point across. The second half, Miles Canton, the guitarist in the movie, they portray him in a party scene, and this is kind of where the evil and the dead come back and attack the living spirits. So it very quickly turned into a glorified Twilight movie for me, and this is where the whole movie fell apart. It's in this scene and pretty much the entirety of the movie it became a Twilight vampire movie. So you went from a very historical looking picture to a very cheesy Twilight vampire movie with very bad effects as well that I want to add, and it just kind of fell apart. It lost my interest rather quickly in this. The whole movie is a good versus evil, and to me it was just a glorified Twilight, like I stated earlier. So I'm trying to wonder where this high rating came from and why this movie it did so well in the box office. So after further review, it seems like there's been a lot of AI and fake reviews generated to help push this movie farther in the box office, and there's a whole subreddit on it stating that this is like the new thing for movies with AI and the way the internet's going, and it's actually having an influence on the way movies are performing in the box office. Don't get me wrong though, the movie I felt had a lot of potential. It just seemed like it was one of those movies for me where the second half just went in a completely different direction. It just changed its tone completely. If it would have stayed the way it was in the first half, I thought the movie would have been great. But the drastic plot change to this, I just don't understand it. The movie did combine a lot of elements with old folk music to very hardcore heavy metal, and it had its own soundtrack. So the whole premise of the movie kind of fell apart for me. I was expecting it to maintain its historical depiction in that era, but having new music and rap music mixed in with a old movie that's set in an old setting, it just kind of, it loses its credibility for me. I just feel like there's a lot of better movies out there that, if you're looking for horror or old historical type movies or a mixture of both, hell, I even think that watching a Twilight movie would be better than this. So in closing, I would give this movie about a 40% score. I wouldn't bother seeing it again. And after doing a little more sleuthing on the internet, it sounds like a lot of smaller critics like me are actually on the same page as what their reviews are. And hopefully we can combat the whole AI and false narrative and false review things, so movies coming out in the future have a more accurate rating, and the smaller movies get the recognition they deserve. So that's my short little review on Sinners in a nutshell. Again, please like, follow, subscribe, and share my channel with like-minded people, with fellow moviegoers as well. If you have any ideas, please list them in the comments. And Eric, I will get to your movie next week. Thanks for watching.